Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Market cap just shy of 400 billion. We reached that last night. Bitcoin running into 9,000, running into 9,000, running into 9,000 once more. It's a bullish sign. However, there is some resistance there, just shy of 9,000 right now. Bitcoin sitting. Ethereum, 637. The big story is Bitcoin Cash, which had, it was anytime Bitcoin Cash is under a tenth of a Bitcoin, I always think that that's a really good buy opportunity. If you just look at the history of it, literally just killing it lately in BTC value. And we're starting to see the same thing with EOS. We're starting to see the decoupling of Bitcoin. It's happening. First, it happens with the major players, the top coins. And then before you know it, the rest of the market moves on. And yeah, that's a good thing. We need that eventually to get mass adoption, because a lot of these other currencies would be a lot more stable if they weren't, tied to Bitcoin, right? Because a lot of them are a lot less polarizing. A lot of them would be a lot more widely accepted, like utility tokens, something like a Civic, for example. It would have a lot less swings because, first off, you come out with a base floor, the ICO price, and then, you'll just have a nice kind of gradual growth from there. It's not some crazy thing taking on nations, right? It's just an identity protection. I'm starting to really see that these coins are going to be a lot more stable as they get off of Bitcoin, and we're starting to see a lot of this in the tops, because Bitcoin, it moved, but it didn't move nearly as much as Neo, EOS, Bitcoin Cash, a lot of these top ones, and we're starting to see a lot of the altcoins fill out. That's another very bullish sign. So I'm not saying that this right here is the next bull market. I do feel like this is happening, that they're trying, so people trying to suppress the price of Bitcoin are starting to realize that it's a much bigger market out there. And it's like trying to suppress the wind, and they're just, all in body, and now they're just out of there, right? So that's what I really feel like what's happening. They're just not enough resources. It's happening. It's leaking through the cracks, so to speak. And let me get into like a utility token versus a security. So what I believe is happening, you can think of it as utility tokens is almost like stock, like furniture, not stock like in a stock market, but like merchandise, like your inventory, right? You have a business, you have your inventory. That's the utility. If the business goes well and people want your inventory, the price is naturally going to rise. I believe what's happening is you got these utility tokens at dirt cheap prices, right? You can almost equivalent it as getting like a pizza token for $1, even though the pizza costs $10. Now, I know that's a bad analogy because pizza costs money. It costs a certain amount of money to make pizza, and you can't sell it for less than you make it for. However, with the value is that token would naturally hover around $8. It would fill out. It would fill out its utility. That's the point I'm trying to get across. So a lot of these cheaper utility tokens, you're getting them for dirt cheap. Like a basic attention token, how cheap is that if it becomes widely adopted? Then it's going to grow in price and fit that. So it's not a security. A security is something that's there to make you money. You're going to get dividends. You got a profit share. That's what a security is meant for. A utility token is this, it can be looked at in the same way, but it's not in the eyes of the law, because a utility token is something that you need to use something. Civic, you need to use Civic to use the platform. And that is the difference. So you can get a cheap utility token and still make money if the value of the inventory keeps increasing. And that's a really good way to look at it, for me at least, because I really find that right now the utility tokens are going for a very cheap cost because the businesses aren't out yet. The platforms aren't out yet. You're about to see a Civic marketplace launch. Spective, I'll get into that. Signal Tokens just signed a very big deal. They're also about to unleash something on May 2nd in their marketplace. a lot of these tokens are going for dirt cheap right now. Yet when the platform launches, when these big deals are signed, the utility just starts to rapidly expand. You saw it with Basic Attention Token. They sign one deal and the utility thus grows. Yeah, of course it can crash, but when you see something like this, when you see something that goes up a ton, and then you expect a pullback, shoots up again, and then you expect a pullback. If this treads sideways, you're just starting to see it naturally floor out because that is what it's worth. A pizza token is going to be $8 because that's what a pizza's worth. This Basic Attention token is going to be worth X amount because that's what your attention's worth. The more, the wider spread the attention can be given, right? The more people that accept Basic Attention token as a means of advertising, and I really believe that this is a paid to exist economy. You pay to watch ads. You get paid to watch TV. You get paid to play video games. That's where we're moving towards, because we're running out of a lot of the menial jobs, like I said, are going to be taken. And now we have a bunch of humans that are here. Well, we have to make money somehow. We all have to coexist somehow, right? And you start to realize that these monopolies that become the richest things in the world, Google, Facebook, these giant multi-billion leaking into the trillion-dollar organizations are going to become decentralized so the whole world can eat. It's not a matter of when or if, it's how it's going to happen, because there's a lot more poor people, there's a lot more hungry people than rich. And eventually pitchforks and fucking torches are going to come out. So we're starting to see a whole different approach to life. And Basic Attention tokens are one of the big things that takes a big chunk of Google out, with the way they're doing with AdSense. And before you know it, people start to realize, oh man, because people are, Mark Zuckerberg's making it like, well, you're getting it for free. Like, you don't understand. We should be paid. That's the whole difference. Is fuck free. You should be getting paid. And once that happens, these big monopolies crumble into dust. It's just what happens. And big monopolies come, big monopolies go. We've seen it throughout history over and over and over again. And moving on. So SIGs, for example, just signed a really big a really big deal. Do your own research, like I said, but they signed a really big deal, and you're starting to see the same thing like you saw with BAT. There was a big pump, and now you starting to see the slow accumulation. Just these sleeper projects. I mean, it's hard to make a lot of value if everyone thinks what you're in is the shit. Now, yeah, it happens with Bitcoin and all that, yada yada. But guess what? With Bitcoin, you take a lot of risk, right? It goes up, it goes down, just like with everything else. If I'm taking that risk, I'd rather get something that can 10 and 100x. I know that sounds crazy, but I've done it several times before, and you don't need to do it that many times if you can spot a good coin. So I really like to go into the abyss where no one's looking and take my shots there. No one was talking about BAT 2 months ago, and now everyone's fucking talking about it. Civic just decided to explode for some reason. As we're starting to get close, I just think that this is people accumulating because the product's about to happen. You can see a very Basic Attention token like come up, and yeah, let's see. It's funny because you always get these dumps before the pumps. I've seen it so many times. I only got a piece of this. I got some of it, but I didn't get all of it. What's wrong? It's not working. Nah. All right. Well, let's see if we can see it in the chart. There was a few. Okay, so you start to see these dumps, and I was getting just the tips of some of these things, and then boom, it's gone. See a little butt cheek right there. But what I'm seeing with Civic, it's like somebody's trying to drag it down, right? Trying to drag it down, but it's growing. So I'm starting to see that with a lot of these coins I'm accumulating. There was a huge buy orders, like 50 to 100 Bitcoin buy orders left and right, just scooping up as much Civic as possible. We're starting to see it right before these big platforms launch. Fucking speaking of EOS, OKCoin, the people behind this OK blockchain, they're doing $100 million fund, and they're going to start to spread awareness on their exchanges, have EOS trading pairs, and they're going to, I believe, run for a node. I didn't check that, but I did see they're investing $100 million. You already know Bitfinex is making EOS NX. You're starting to see, and then you have BitShares that's going to be upgraded on the EOS. BitShares 3.0. That's 3 major exchanges that are going to be using or investing in the EOS platform. And it's not even out yet, just in testnet. I know a lot of people are salty, and I really don't care what you believe in EOS. Like I've been there from the very beginning. I'm going to keep saying it. I believe in Dan L, and I believe in the billions of dollars they've raised. I know. So that's one of the things that's dangerous about Bitcoin Cash and EOS, is because the head people have been through a lot. There's a lot of people who talked a lot of shit about Dan L, calling him a scammer, calling him this and that, saying he leaves projects, that he's a quitter, all of this shit. And he takes it in stride, but I can see behind his eyes. I'm really good at feeling that pain, even if I'm not in person. If I was in person, I could really see the chip on his shoulder, but I can really feel through the computer the chip that he has. Like, he's boiling. He's a genius, and he has this fire within him where he's like, and I have that. I understand where you just get so fed up that you're just like, fuck this, I'm gonna go Super Saiyan and everything around me is just gonna disappear and I'm gonna win. That's how he's going. He's like, there's nothing stopping him from just absolutely taking it and running with it. And you can hate on it all you want. I really don't care. Same thing with Bitcoin Cash. Roger Ver, man, he's love him or hate him, the guy shows up. He just keeps getting hit in the mouth. He keeps getting spit on. Everyone just keeps attacking him from, the chip that man has. He's like, I have to win. Dudes are going to go Super Saiyan. He's going to grow some big yellow hair. That's why you don't count these people out. That's why you don't focus on it. That's why I'm going to give you an analogy or an example. Bill Belichick, you'll never see him talking shit. He always talks up his opponents. If he's about to go up against a good team, he doesn't talk shit. He talks them up. He tries to become friends with them. There's no reason to give anyone a chip. Motivation is the key to victory. Motivation is the key to life and death. If you give somebody the fire, they're going to work a little harder. And that little inch can be the difference. And there's no reason to give anyone that. And it's not only that, you're allocating energy that you could be focusing on doing your own, right? I always see the good in all projects. And then I focus on what I want to invest in, what I believe is going to change the world. And people on a bigger scale are doing that. You don't see in Dan L, yeah, he has his spats with ADA. He's only human. But for the most part, he's quiet and he's building. So I'm just saying that look out for these projects. People have chips on their shoulders. The focus should be on getting there. Blockchain's taking over left and right. Goldman Sachs is giving in, going to start trading crypto. Probably mad that Mike Novogratz is just taking all of his employees and all of his high quality people. But, we're starting to see it. I'm going to get on that. Propy was a Zen move, by the way. Jeez. I wanted to get it, but I just didn't, and I called it a Zen move. I didn't know this was going to happen, but I knew something big was going to happen with Propy. And oh yeah, I forgot to explain Spective a little bit more because a lot of people don't understand it. You can think of Spective as like a virtual reality basic attention token. So right now they're going to have similar to paid to watch ads. I believe there's much room for a lot of people in this space. I believe that this is going to turn into one of my mid-tier coins, but it's treated like a very, very small cap right now. But it has a lot of room to grow. They're signing major deals, and so you can think of Basic Attention Token came out with the Brave browser, what I'm using right now. What the Signal token came out with was the Spective TV, the SpectiveVR.tv platform, which is like a virtual reality YouTube where content creators get paid to upload videos. And then you can get paid to watch ads as a viewer. So it's pretty cool. It's like a Steemit, VR, DTube, YouTube all mixed in one. That's just one of the products though. They're having a marketplace come out, similar like Civic and all these other places, all these other coins that have these marketplaces coming out, and you're going to be able to branch, but they're really heavily influenced into VR ads. They're really wanting to get into that high quality tech where they're going to be able to make high quality VR ads, which is cutting edge. Not, no, I don't know anyone else is really focusing on that like this team is. And I'm excited about the deal they've put together. I can't talk about it obviously, but man, it's a game changer. So just things to look out for. I'm excited. What's happening with Bitcoin? I really don't know what's going to happen. It can go up, it can go down. I just know that a lot of people are pot committed. There's a lot of money coming into crypto, left and right, head over heels. Dude, when I was trying to buy basic attention to all these coins, it was so hard. There was just so many big buy orders. People were gobbling up these coins left and right. And it hasn't stopped. It doesn't seem like it's slowing down. It could. There could always be a dip. And I think that the harder the dip, the bigger the pump. So if there's a big dip, I think the pump that's going to come after that's going to be ridiculous because there's just so much money. This wasn't dumb money coming in. It wasn't, you know, I was looking at $500,000. There was a $2.5 million sell wall on EOS that I watched get obliterated. It just disintegrated. The buy orders are coming in. They're coming in big and strong. And now you're starting to hear news of Goldman Sachs coming in, Soros, all these people are trading cryptos. And now you're starting to see multi-million-dollar buy orders. Hey, if you've done your research, if you're George Soros or whoever the fuck, you've done your research and you say, hey, man, basic attention token, I think they really have a chance to really becoming, you know, the new ad economy. Where do you go? You got to fucking buy it on exchanges. Bittrex, it sucks, but you're missing out on a lot of money if you don't. If you're just sticking to Bitcoin, Ethereum, and using GDAX and Coinbase and Gemini and all that, you're missing out on a lot of the mid-tier alts that could become first tier. You know, I consider a basic attention token a mid-tier that could become a top tier. I think it's something like a Spective that is a third tier that could become a second tier in liquidity. And then maybe, who knows, down the line. But, you know, that's just how I feel. There's a lot of good projects out there right now. This is the time. This isn't the time. This is the time when you should be knowing what your strategy is. All last 2-3 months during this hellish bear market we've been in, that's when you should have been grinding. That's when you should have been studying. That's when you should know what the fuck's going on, what's not going on. And right now, your strategy should be game tight. If it's not, go back to ground zero. Study, research, know what you fucking want. I know what my portfolio is now. Yeah, I'll add a new coin, but it takes a hell of a lot of research. It's like getting remarried almost. If I, you know, if I have to get a new coin in my portfolio because I really believe in what I have and I believe that the utility of them is like a 5-cent fucking pizza. So I had this coupon for a badass delicious pizza and it only cost me 5 cents. Well, guess what? I believe that's going to fucking go up to $10 real quick in that analogy. Do your own research. Obviously not financial advice because I don't want fucking to be responsible for anybody. Just doing my own thing. This is what I'm doing. Cheers. Peace.